думала, є ноутбук. Ну що, ми починаємо готуватися. Вже залишилось небагато, ми дуже хвилюємося, і тому дивіться далі, буде дуже цікаво. Мені здається, можна сидіти більше, але мало, а потім
I would like to invite the organizers of this event, welcome everyone, Marina Prihodsko, a leader of Razna for Ukraine, and Zara and Zarema Mustafayev, leaders of the Krimen-Tatar Foundation.
One of those ways is to work together with the Crimean Tatar community in Ukraine, in New York, anywhere, to help bring more awareness to what is happening specifically in Crimea and what has been happening over the many centuries of the persecution of Crimean Tatars.
Hello and thank you to everyone for joining us today. On behalf of the Crimean Tatar Foundation and Razna for Ukraine, we would like to dedicate this day to important occasion. Crimean Tatar Days and the international Muslim holiday, Crimean Kurban Bayram. Our goal is to introduce you to the indigenous people of Crimea, their culture, history, and our ongoing struggle to return to our homeland. We would like to begin with introducing ourselves. We are Zera and Zarema, two sisters, activists and journalists, and this is our personal story about being Crimean Tatar, children born in exile, far away from our homeland. We are the indigenous people of Crimea who had returned to the peninsula after forced deportation growing up in Crimea. We had a 16 Russian population. We faced persistent bullying and violence from them at school. For our own safety, we were forced to leave Crimea once again because of the bullying and persecution at school and university. After the occupation in 2014, we were banned from entering our homeland for our pro-Ukrainian position. Russia tried to block our YouTube channel Crimea Speaks several times. We received from Russian a lot of threats when we lived in Ukraine. The Crimean Tatar are people who have formed on the territory of Crimea and who include a lot of peoples and ethnic groups that have inhabited that land since ancient time. Russia had deliberately attempt to erase our people. The Crimean Tatar had their own state established in the 50th century, the Crimean Khanate. Russian first occupation was 1783, marked the beginning of the suffering and struggle of the Crimean Tatar people.
During World War II, in the middle of the night, soldiers came to villages and cities of people who'd lived there for hundreds of years. They took old men, women, children, and loaded them onto rail cars to ship them to concentration camps far away from their homes. The story sounds like the Jewish Holocaust perpetuated by the Nazis in World War II. But while Hitler was implementing his final plan, Stalin had labeled peaceful people as traitors, spies, and enemies, and engaged in genocide. The name of its people, Crimean Tatars.
You know, while 33% of Jewish population died from the Holocaust, 46% of the Crimean Tatar died from the genocide. 80% of those killed were children. The survivors were forcibly exiled to the foreign land, to to Uzbekistan, for 55 years unable to return to our homeland. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union, Crimean Tatar began return to Crimea en masse, hoping that their suffering would finally come to an end. However, Russian settlers occupied the homes of Crimean Tatars, but living among an aggressive population was extremely difficult. But Crimean Tatars wanted to live on our native land and begin to build new homes for ourselves with our own hand. Despite obstacles from the pro-Russian patriots in Crimea, the people persevered with their own labor, opening TV channel and media outlets, reviving our culture and tradition. Unfortunately, in 2014, Russia once again occupied Crimea, and persecution, harassment, tough torture, murder, and imprisonment resumed. We live in Kiev, but our family, like all Crimean Tatars, did not stop belief and waited for Ukraine in Crimea. Our way back to Crimea was closed due to our activism for Crimean Tatar rights and freedom. We tell the truth about the Crimean Tatar people on our channel, the truth that Russia is trying to erase. From the very beginning of the occupation, Russia began persecuting Crimean Tatar. Crimean Tatar are falsely imprisoned or fabricated church, traced domain to their families, kidnappings and disappearance of Crimean Tatar, torture and survive. Psychological pressure were inflicted upon us. Russian full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022 brought us here to the United States. Remarkably, this is our third relocation due to persecution of by the Russia. 3 times we personally started living from scratch, and the entire Crimean Tatar people are still experiencing this way. In New York, we met the Crimean Tatar and Crimean communities that have become our friends and supporters. Here in New York, we tell Americans about the war in Ukraine, about the atrocity Russians are doing on our land. On the informational front, we are actively engaged in the battle for truth. As Petro Grigorenko said, the world must know the truth. Genocide was committed against the Crimean Tatar. We have to talk about it internationally. Our mission, the global community advocacy, chronicles the Crimean Tatar people history and present in political advocacy. Our main goal are historical education, preservation of culture and protection of the rights and freedoms of the indigenous people of Ukraine. Thank you very much for starting.
And now, please welcome leader of Crimean Tatars and Ukrainian parliamentarian, Mustafa Dzhemilev. Mustafa Dzhemilev is joining us in Zoom. He is one of the most well-known Crimean human rights defenders and is a long-time political and civic activist. He has dedicated his entire life to fighting for a rise of the Crimean Tatars. Дорогі друзі, з великою честю і гордістю запрошую до вітального слова лідера кримських татар і українського парламентарія Мустафу Джемілєва. Ваші оплески.
Это игра управляется на мире. Жильцов из западной шармы, yeniden o zamanların tek etleri zorunda kaldı. İnsanlara hep devletlere tabii teşekkürlerimi vermek istedim. Bu toplantılarınızda başarılar diliyorum. Sağ olun.
Now please welcome Andrew Grigorenko. Mr. Grigorenko is a human rights activist, the son of Petro Grigorenko, who was a general in the Soviet Union and went against the Soviet leadership to defend the Crimean Tatar people from mass deportation.
Victory eventually will be on the side of justice. еще раз. Glory to the Ukrainian Tatar people. Glory to Ukraine.
Now please welcome Mubain Batu Altan. Ukrainian Tatar human rights defender.
I am one of the original Crimean Tatar, original members of the Crimean Tatar community based in Brooklyn, New York. Our community was formed by early 1960s by a small group of refugee families. As indigenous people of Crimea, we Crimean Tatars feel the pain of not having a liberated free country. I invite you all to visit our community center to see the amazing renovations in progress. Slava Ukraini, Slava Krymski Tatar.
Walter Ruby. Mr. Ruby is a Jewish leader, journalist.
Well, hello everybody. I'm so glad to be here. I wanted to come in person but was unable to be so, but I'm so happy that I'll have this chance to address this wonderful group from my home in Maryland. In any case,